Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast chat. I'm just here eating some chicken and rice. So this video might be for a much smaller audience. It may not get that many views. Not that worried about it. So I had some people say, hey, look, Jason, gyms are all opening back up in the UK next week. What do you recommend for plans, for training? And I see people telling, even some of the groups I'm on, some of the various coaching and training and strength groups I'm on, like on Facebook, I see advice being given. And I'm going to be frank with you. You guys can start a conjugate program with 1 rep maxes from day one coming back to the gym. And I'm assuming you stayed in shape. If you've done body weight stuff, conditioning work, band work, and you're still in shape, but you've lost a lot of muscle and strength, you can go into conjugate. And people say, but you're going to have people max out from day one? Yes, day one. And you know why? Because no one's telling you to come in and scream and yell and slap yourself and have a spotter scream, oh, you bro, while they lift half the weight. Talking about coming in and hitting a training max to where you start adding weight to the bar. Let's say that your old bench press was 120 kilos, right? Since you guys are Brits, we'll use kilos, use kg, 120 kg. Well, you could come in and start ramping up. Ramp up and do 60 for a single, then try 70, then try 80. And if you get stuck at 80, and 80 is the heaviest you can lift, then it feels grindy, it feels slow, right? Even though you used to do 120, you've titrated up to a training max, okay? You've titrated up. Really, all we need to get started is the max on a bench press and a box squat. You now have percentages to follow a basic program. And I'm going to lay out for you guys a very simple program that any of you can do coming back to the gym. All right, you're going to have max effort upper, max effort lower in that order. Dynamic effort upper, dynamic effort lower. All right, and this is where it gets very, very simple. It's going to be very simple. Day one, come in and max on a bench press to a training max. Doesn't need to be an all-out screaming, yelling max because you haven't been lifting heavy. You don't need to be doing a true max. But you know what? Maxes are done in studies on untrained people all the time. They're considered safe. Come in and just when it gets really heavy, when you go to hit, you start adding weight, add 5 kilos, 10 kilos, whatever you need to do, ramping it up, do 1 rep. When it gets heavy and you say, that felt pretty heavy, I had to strain a bit, I had to grind. Took me 3 seconds to lift that weight. A 3-second concentric rep, right? 3.5. You didn't just block it. You had to strain a little bit. That's your training max. It's your training max for the day. You now have a baseline to program everything off of. All right, what should you do after that? You should take whatever that max is and put 70%. 70% of that max. If you did 100 kg, you put 70 kg on the bar. Do 3 sets of 10 with, at least 3 minutes break between. Right, 3 sets of 10. Then find a small tricep exercise to do. I don't care whether it's some rolling extensions with dumbbells. It could be rope press downs, V-bar press downs. Something that's easy on the elbows. Right? Don't go straight to a skull crusher or JM press. Do 3 to 4 sets, maybe 5 sets of those to failure. Right? You guys following me here? Go over and do some pen lay rows. Whatever you got on the bench, put 60% of that on the bar. Do 3 sets of 10 on straight pen lay rows with that. Afterwards, if you want to do a few curls or some rear delt exercises or something, a couple of small movements, go ahead. A couple of sets to failure. That's your upper day. Lower day, come in and box squat. Parallel box squat. Same thing, ramp up to a training max. Ramp up to a training max. I have plenty of videos teaching you guys how to box squat. All right. After that, do a couple of sets of 5 reps with 80% of whatever you got. If you got to 100 kg, put 80 kg on the bar, do 2 sets of 5. Then I want you to try some good mornings. Put about 50%. So if you got 100 kg, see if you can do 50 kg. Do 3 sets of 10 on good mornings. Do another 3 sets of rows. Do rows, those same rows I just broke down, do them all 4 days. 3 sets of rows. 60% of your bench max. And then do some sort of other posterior chain work. Maybe some pull-throughs, maybe some hyper-extensions. If you have a 45-degree hyper, use that. Do some high-rep sets to failure. Or do some band or cable pull-throughs. A couple of sets to failure after that. You're done. Dynamic upper. Instead of maxing, put 60% of whatever you did on the bench, on the training max. Do 9 sets of 3 explosively. Look up speed benching. I have plenty of videos on speed work. 3 explosive reps, 9 sets of 3, 60 seconds apart. Then come in and repeat the tricep work and the rows that you did on the max effort day. And whatever, if you did a few curls or some rear delt laterals or whatever, rear delt flies, throw that stuff in too. Lower day. Box squat. Take 60% of whatever you hit on the box squat. Do 12 doubles. Do 12 doubles on speed squats. Then pick either a sumo or a conventional deadlift, whichever one you think you could do again. Do 6 singles of speed pulls with 10% more weight over whatever you just did on the box squat. If you did 100 kg on the box squat, go up to 110 kg. Do 6 singles about 30 seconds apart. Take a minute apart on the speed squats. Come in and repeat the same good mornings you did last time. And then maybe some pull-throughs or hyperextensions. All right, that's it. That's a simple workout. The next week, you could max on, say, a floor press or a deadlift, an incline bench or a deadlift, an overhead press or a deadlift. You could run this back and forth and just rotate the lifts you do every couple of weeks. Actually, every 2 weeks, you could probably retest the same max again for 4 to 6 weeks because you've detrained. You'll be fine. So if you want to test your flat bench every other week, that's fine. You want to test your box squat every other week, that's fine. Hey, I've given you guys a very simple template that you could return to, that you could do safely, effectively. It will get you back to your muscle and strength that you used to have relatively quickly. All right, we'll do it relatively quickly. And you'll be there in no time. And look how easy that is. Handful of exercises, and then you could build off of that. But that would be a basic conjugate template that you guys who haven't been to the gym for months, only been able to do some bands and body weight stuff, that you could start doing from day one. And if you treat the maxes the way that I treated them, they're perfectly safe. Because people would say, well, no, you should do some rep work just to start off. Instead, you can't max. Well, why? Are you going to do a set of bench to failure? Or till you have to strain and a spotter has to help you lift it? You think that's any safer? You think that's any safer than doing an easy training max, a conservative training max? No, it's not. And at least with the other, we now have numbers to program everything off of. Right? We have percentages to work with by testing the maxes on those lifts. Straightforward, simple, easy. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.